Yo, I know I got a little setup problem, a little technical difficulty, but I'm working on some stuff, so whatever. I got a whole bunch of stuff I do. Um, so yeah, I don't know if y'all know anything about these opium wars. Anything about these opium wars? I want to say Islam, Salam Alaikum, Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, OCO, Namaste. Excuse me. Peace to everybody, man. Everybody. But, me, I do things a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Um, I know we've been having a lot of debates about, the Africa thing, the America thing. Honestly, by now, if you haven't figured that out, then you're in the twilight zone. So it's time to move forward. Because while we're doing this, we're also being attacked. We are also being attacked. Okay? So while we're fighting and killing each other, we are being attacked. Okay? Understand this. Now, if you know anything about these opium wars, right? There were two that happened in China. I can pull up the years, and if you want to, you find it. Okay. Uh, I might say a little something. Let me see what you say. Uh, so there were two wars that happened. Where Britain. I don't like saying Great Britain. I don't like saying Great Britain. So I say Britain and the United States got together and underground opium to China so that they will open up their ports because China didn't want to fuck with. Why would they want to? Everybody know about China, and everybody know about America. This new situation in Europe. Everybody know. Nobody want no parts of that shit, right? So how they got in was they started funneling this shit in. This shit right here. They started funneling opium in. Okay? You see that word there? These are for, the kids have been sitting in the back of the classroom that don't know some things. And we can't expect for them to know everything. They're kids. They don't really know everything, even though they think they know everything. Remember, you used to be that kid too. You thought you knew everything. All right, so as I dig upon this, right? Okay, as I dig upon this, right? Um, I knew about the two wars that happened in China, where they did it in like, man, what was okay? You know what? I'm gonna look it up, just to help y'all out. I'm gonna look it up. So it was the I did a video about it. All you gotta do is look at the video that I did. Alright, let's go. China. It was two of them. They came through twice. Yeah, so here you go right here. Just read along with me. So it says the Opium Wars were two conflicts fought in China in the mid 19th century between the forces of the Western countries and the Qing dynasty, which ruled China from 1644 to 1911-12, right? And it says the first Opium War was in 1839. It was in 1839. That's when it was, right? I know I ain't want to say. I wanted to say I wasn't. I can't remember. I know I was thinking 30 something, but I wanted to be right and exact because I don't want to give nobody no bullshit information. In any of my information, all you gotta do is do the homework yourself. That's what you should do for real. Because we got a bunch of like narcissists, a bunch of nut asses, a bunch of no Mr. Know-it-alls and shit. You know what I mean? I'm not that guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't be running around tooting my horn up. This really, I don't make money off of my channel. It would be nice if I could get some likes and some, but I already know I'm shadow banned. Shout to D Calico. Shout to Grove. Shout to Crumb TV. Geechee, you funny. You funny, man. I wanted it, the GOAT, did he ever respond back to all of your riffing? Did he ever respond to any of that? Yeah, I'm curious to know about did he respond to any of that. So yeah, but let me continue, man. But look, okay, so it says the first Opium War in 1839 through 42 was fought between China and Great Britain. And the Second Opium War, right, in 1856 through 60, right, also known as the Arrow War of the Anglo-French War in China, right, was fought by the Britain and France against China. Okay, so this is a man. What is this on? Hold up. Let me turn back around. Camera. All right, so look. So y'all already know I just got all word. I don't be on my pretty boy shit. I work with my hands, so I'm one of them guys that I YouTube too, right? But I'm also prepared that if YouTube was to ever shut down, do you know how to use a screwdriver? Do you know how to use pliers? Yeah. Do you know how to operate a zero turn? Yeah. Mm. Can you climb a ladder? Most dudes, boy, I be trying to figure out how you can be on here all day long, every day. I can't do it. I got other responsibilities, man. I can't do it. A lot of times I want to jump on with the brothers, but I'm not as fortunate as you. You know, I work too because I make sure that my hands, and I stay fit. I'm out there because you never know when you might have to create your own situation. Yeah, so the kind of work I do, I can pretty much build my own house, which I'm really been contemplating. But that's another story. Well, I'm gonna get into that. But look, so let's talk about these opium wars, man. Um, because this shit here, man. This one of the reasons why America. That's the reason why we fucked up right now. Okay, okay. This is the reason why we are messed up the way we are. This is the reason why. This is the reason why. So let's read some more. I'm going back up here. So it says it says, wait a minute. The first Opium War in 1839 through 42 was fought between China and Great Britain, and the Second Opium War in 1856 through 60. See, what happened was the first Opium War broke everybody down. I did the research on it. Like, it broke down like 75% of the population. The 75% of the population was junkies in China around about this time. And you see what happened? Oh, 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 I'm getting blurry all of a sudden. Okay. All right. And then you see what happened? All right. All right. You want to know more about it. I go in depth a little more on another video that I did that was about op- the Chinese opium wars, the wars I'm talking about right now, right? So the first time they came in and they decimated everything. Before they did it, they got the whole almost, almost, man, everybody that lived on that plane, on that whole plane, was addicted to opium. So that what that did was that made everybody weak. Excuse me. It made everybody weak. I be yelling at people at work, and you know what I mean, yelling. I'm yelling, but sometimes my voice gets hoarse like this from me yelling at people all the time. But yeah. So this first opium war, if you didn't know anything about it, right? Let's talk about it real quick. So it says the opium wars, right? Opium wars. So the opium wars, right, were two conflicts waged into China and Western powers. During the mid 19th century, the first Opium War was fought from 1839 to 1842. We just read that, right? And between China and the United Kingdom, and was triggered by Chinese government's campaign to enforce its, in other words, to open up their ports. Right. So let me go back where I was at. There was two of them. There was two wars. They were like 40 years apart. Excuse me. Yeah, they were 40 years apart. Okay. So now what's going on is this is what's going on. All right, somebody come in and say, where is this new shit called fentanyl? Where is it from? Where is it from? Where is it from? Okay. It's from China, right? So I did some research, not real heavy, because I was already feeling this in my stomach because, I am a priest king and, you know, the ancestors have hit me, has smacked me in the head with something, and, I was feeling this in my stomach anyway. I was feeling this in my gut anyway. I was already feeling this. That this is what was going on. Excuse me, hold up. I saw somebody come in, whoever that was. I'm sorry, but yeah. So right now, this is what I want to talk about, man. Everybody, I mean, all these big dogs and all this, everybody got all this rap, but is anybody talk? Okay, the Abos beefing with the Moors beefing with the Indians beefing with, bro. If we haven't gotten past that yet, that shit is old. We already know about that already. We already know. We got the old Mac, we got the Caliphate, we got the mounds all over damn place. All of our structures are older and bigger here, okay? And whatever you want to call it, I say Atlantis, and just skip past all of India Superior. Okay, so we already know that this is a special place, and if you don't know by now this is a special place, then you retarded. So it's time to move forward. It's time to move forward. While we're fighting about this topic here, while we're fighting, we have kids that are killing each other and going to prison left and right. Do you hear me? Just for clout, just for um being able to flash money on Instagram. Yeah, just want to flash money on Instagram. Had this one little kid where he, I don't even want to say his name right because that'll give him clout, so I ain't even saying his name, but he killed his mother for insurance money just so he can get on Instagram and show money. Man, these phones, I'm gonna tell you, some of these parents need to take some of these phones and set them down for like an hour or two every day. Just sit your phone down, go somewhere and think. Sit your phone down for 2 hours right here inside the box. Everybody throw their phones right here and go do something. Go play some catch. Go play some basketball. Go run. Go read a book. Go do something. Go have a conversation with somebody. You know, because these phones are ridiculous. You got the kids going crazy. These phones got the kids going crazy. Yeah. So I got something to talk about, man. That's been brewing in my stomach, and it's just the ancestors. That's all trying to tell me something. Um, Yeah, so I I wanted to do a little bit of research on this whole opium thing. Now, first you have us stringing out, excuse me, stringing out China, excuse me, twice. We strung them out twice. Took over their land, ran through everything, stole everything, took everything, right? So then this is the answer back. The answer back is this shit here. This shit. Okay. This shit right here is nasty. This shit right here is lethal. Okay. It says fentanyl and the third opium war. Ooh. So I say to myself, okay, I already knew. So um they're looking at it, China is looking at it like it's the third war. See, this stuff that's going on that they don't keep us abreast on, but because I study a lot of history is my thing. I love it. Um, you know, I knew about this. I knew about the wars. I knew about what uh, the European powers, what they done to China in the 1800s. They strung everybody out, ran through everything, made them open their ports up. They opened their ports up. China tightened back up again. They did it again. Started flooding opium through them again, and then they ran through all their stuff, took all their stuff. They opened up their ports, and then I think they got themselves together again. They did, yeah, but not all the way together. As America, we already know got their feet in it some kind of way. I think America and China, yeah, all right. So, yeah. So now we have this fentanyl that was made in China, and they're calling it the third opium war. Okay. Wait a minute. The American Spectator, right? That must be the name of the column or the guy or whatever. But I kind of wanted to stop there, but let's look around a little bit. The Opium War. America's Addiction. Look, got older pictures. Uh, that's Poppy. If you know what Poppy look like, it's fat and round right here, right here. And he's fat at the top, right here. They split him down the middle with a knife, something sharp, and they scrape him with like a can, and they uh, get the sap off of it from scraping it with the can. And I guess the can fills up. Yeah. So look, there's another book, The Opium Wars, The Addiction of One Empire and the corruption of another. Man, so all this time, everybody really been fighting over drugs. The oil thing, I don't really believe it. I don't believe the oil thing. I always thought it was this with Louis. Okay, I always thought it was. Oh, look, the drug wars arms race. The drug wars arms race. What's this about? What is it? He used to have little dens. You could curl up on the couch and get plastered. Man, boy. That's why I said set. All right. They're gonna cut me off, but whatever. I'm gonna ride off for a minute. So the mindset of somebody now compared to the mindset in the 1700s. No, you have no idea. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have no idea what you don't know what them people were thinking. Shit, most of the time we was fighting each other, just like we fight each other now. Shit, we gonna talk about the invasions, the Spanish invasion, the European invasion. What about all the fighting and beefing and shit we was in-house beefing about? What is this? Okay, we got some pictures, okay. Opium den. Uh, 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 oh, okay. I got a little short right here, bringing anybody these stuff. What's that shit? The hell's this shit? Uh, it should be demonic. I don't even want to look at none of that demonic shit. So, oh, wait a minute. That rabbit hole, boy. You never know what you're running into. Yeah, so let me go back up. Where was we at? My fault, y'all. I'm just in real time, man. Doing some homework on why I keep going to all these damn funerals. Every time I turn around, I'm going to some damn funeral. And it's behind this shit. Alright? So it says fentanyl, right? Wait a minute. It says fentanyl and the United States opioid epidemic. Okay? And it says again right here. Let me turn this down. Alright. Then it says right here, fentanyl crisis is a reverse opium war. So do you understand what I'm saying right now? Hopefully you're getting what I'm saying. So let me break it down for you now. If you haven't figured out what I'm saying, um, I know I might be offending some people, and listen, man, we've been there, we done that, right? So for some of us, we should only be trying to right the wrong to send the next generation flapping in the wind like we were. So it says the fentanyl crisis is a reverse opium war. Let's see what that is. What's that about? The fentanyl crisis is a reverse opium war. If America sees its vigor sapped over time through addiction and domestic fractiousness, then it would be a much weaker challenge on the international stage. All right. History does not repeat itself, but it does rhyme. Is a famous quote. What? Is a famous quote that is often attributed to Mark. Okay, well, shut up, man. Just because you said it ain't Mark. Ain't nobody worrying about no motherfucker Mark Twain. Oh, man. You got real people that do this shit. Anybody worrying about no Mark Twain? But it's, come on, man. So, Guards the Hijack, man. Today, not only is history rhyming, but it is taking a deeply ironic turn while doing so. I'm gonna tell you why. Because all hell has broken loose on the promised land. Some shit got stolen. Some shit got renamed. Oh man. Then they do drugs in there. And then they do the gangs in there. You know what I mean? Then they socially engineered us on how to watch TV and what to listen for, and they socially engineered us on uh, the music, you know, the frequency of the music, have this destructive frequency in them, on this, everybody on demon time now. I'm trying to figure out when has it ever been slick to be on demon time? When has it ever been slick to be on demon time? When hip hop first started, there was no way you could have told somebody you was a demon. There's no way. We had gods. We were gods. We are gods. It's just that some of us forgot. because you've had a lot of bullshit pumped into your head. Excuse me. You've had a lot of bullshit pumped into your head. So, wait a minute. So it's 17 maps that show us a new perspective of the United States. Okay? Man, this is another breakdown of the United States. So many different breakdowns of the United States. Crazy. So 150 years ago, a 2 millennia old civilization in the East was hooked on opium and watched as its once perceived centrality in world affairs was eradicated by an upstart empire from the West, upon which it was claimed that sun never sets. Today, man, today, the inheritor of that empire's tradition is being flooded by a synthetic opium, even as the old Eastern Empire shakes off its century plus torpor and seeks to unite the Eurasian landmass in a way that would have stunned the great geopolitical thinker Sir Halford Mackinder. So I don't know who the hell he is. Some Sir something, right? But what I'm talking about is what? Hmm. So I mean, I ain't surprised, man. The government already been caught selling drugs, bro. You know that shit by now. Man, it's crazy. All right, so we are now in a sort of reverse opium war, except this time it is the United States, not China, that is the victim. See, I've been thinking this ever since this whole fentanyl thing has started swooping down on us. I know nobody like to talk about it because they got homeboys that's, out there. They already know all that, man. But us as a people, man, we could be Black Wall Streets. Why do we gotta be uh neighborhood destroyers? Why do we have to be neighborhood destroyers of our own ancient? Okay, we don't understand how ancient our communities are. Also, I was digging. Let me find something. Wait a minute. So, so I was reading something, but it was crazy because you couldn't really read it unless you highlighted it. It was like they whited it out on purpose. So hold on. this is some. This right here is some heavy stuff, man. These Dorseys, NDRC, Etsy, Oval, but they always showing pale faces. But when I went to, wait a minute, yeah. And this was just me just reading through some stuff. Alright. Let's see. Alright, now, check this out. Why is the whole page white? Why is the whole page white? There are letters on it. But watch this. You have to light them up. Wait a minute, hold up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me light them up. Let me light them up. Wait a minute. Let me know that. You have to light these pictures up. I'm sorry, these letters up. Why would they write something like this and then white it all out? That's why, boy, you gotta watch this academia, the computer. Man, you gotta watch all this stuff, man, because all this shit is tied into a knot because they know that it's some free thinkers out there. So check this out. I was just reading this, and you know what I'm saying? It says, and now these are supposed to be people that were enslaved, didn't have shit, but we already know that these people here were melanated people, were people that had, brown skin, dark skin. You notice copper. Our skin is a little bit different than everybody else's. Okay? So check this out though. I was just reading this, right? And it says of all the distinguished officials whose presence with the family and retainers lent luster to the capital city, none are more indelibly impressed upon the history of Edward Darcy. I see two different spellings. So I don't know if it's hijack. I don't know what it is, man. You know, they wrote all this shit, so you don't really know what to believe at the damn time when you read something. So it says, who received his first warrant for land and Lord Proprietary in year 1650. Okay. In that year, Edward D'Arcy, the original progenitor of the Hockley branch of the Dorseys of Maryland. Okay, so yeah, so I was just talking about this like ancient city. I know it's in Anne Arundel County, but wait a minute. He was one of the first to contribute to the fund for establishing free schools in Maryland. Was a trustee of King William and Mary School. Okay, so I don't know if did I say anything about the year? Maybe I should just read the whole thing. Cause it's crazy how when you first come to that site, everything is in white. Why is everything white? Why can't you read it? And if you don't have enough common sense to do this, you would think that the page was shut down. That's what you would think. So let's read a little bit. So it says these lands were in the year 1667 assigned to George Yeat. Okay, Edward Darcy having in 1661 been granted a valuable estate in that part of St. Mary's County, which is 1663 became a part of the newly erected county of Calvert. Okay, this was all these names, but incorrectly entered in Lord Baltimore's rent rolls for Calvert County as belonging to Edward Darby. What? Hockley in the Hole, originally taken up by Edward Darby, was in 1664 patented to his sons Edward, Joshua, and John. Right? They sit down and it said Major Edward Dorsey, later known as Colonel Judge in the High Court of Chancellor and Keeper of the Great Seal, was active in military affairs. See, man, when I read this, man, it just make me feel like there was a lot going on in America, man, that we don't know a damn thing about. And I'm starting to feel like, yeah, it was us down here going through all this, man. All this us. We already know that this all the names they calling off. We already know that these surnames that we think that the sleep people still think that your name came from some white slave owner. The the Slavics ain't never did shit but been Slavs. They have been slaves. So we don't even want to talk about that. That topic there. If you only haven't figured that out, then I really don't. I can't. I can't just talk to anybody, man. Cause some people just be still in the twilight zone. And at this time, I don't have time for no Twilight Zone people. All you gotta do is read the book White Cargo. You'll find out who was running who? Yeah, truth. So all these people, I'm gonna say, I don't know. I don't know. This might have been when the actual marriage happened between like how these Caucasians slid in. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how they slid in the way they slid in. Somebody let them slide in and they just went bonkers. And the whole time it could really be a couple of melanated families that's running all this shit. Because I do know that the Federal Reserve note, that the dollar bill is owned by a melanated European family. So that's why I, no disrespect to A1, whoever else says it. When you say Europeans, when you say the word, such and such as the European, you're thinking about Caucasian, right? But if you know Europe the way I know Europe, you can't say European and mean Caucasian because the real Europeans were melanated. They were dark people. The real Europeans were dark people. So when you say European and you're referring to someone with no melanin, no, no, you have to say Caucasian. I just say Caucasian. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Say Caucasian. That's it. So that's just me, everybody, yeah. All I be trying to do, man, is, share information with one another, and I don't get into my feelings about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because, first of all, I'm not like a real YouTuber. I was thinking about, learning more about it, but it's really not my thing. It's just something I do to enlighten my people and also so my youngins will have something to go back to and they'll be a couple steps ahead of the average kid in their class because the type of things that I talk to them about. Yeah. So let me go back. All right. So on our topic. Um, but yeah. So it says Colonel Edward Dorsey House in the ancient city. See, here you go again. Was the largest mansion there when upon the removal of the capital from St. Mary's, the seat government was changed to what now Annapolis, to what is now Annapolis, or to what is now Annapolis, okay? And so it became the home of the royal governor, Sir Francis Nicholson, and the meeting place and the assembly until permanent public buildings could be erected. Hmm. And this is in the 1600s, right? So we was building houses over here in the 1600s. Man, that wigwam shit, that ain't really us, for real. That's the mother people. I ain't trying to, they already mad as shit because we know now. They mad as shit because we know now, yo. They mad as shit because we know now, Doug. Man, oh man. Well, okay, so now, what was that? Okay, the ancient city again. Okay, all right, the ancient city. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is the ancient city, right? Okay. When you got all these big Dougs. you know, but some name of some creek, the low clip box, bordered flower beds, short green turf, and hanging willow trees, still giving suggestions of its original beauty. There is scarcely a post of honor, civil and military, which Colonel Edward Dorsey did not film. Did not film. So who is this Edward Dorsey? Who is this guy? Cause you got to see one thing I learned about reading, bro. Usually, when they say bad, it's really the other way around. When they try to assassinate someone's character, the only people they do that to is people like us. They do that to. So I don't know, man. I ain't falling for it. So yeah, I ain't falling for it. So yeah, man, crazy. But the point I was making was, we've been doing some like, okay, you got the information and accounting course, 1777. Um, State government was organized. The following Dorseys were appointed justices of the local courts. Damn, who are these Dorsey motherfuckers? I'm trying to figure out who these Dorsey people are. Hotley and the whole, they own the what did it say? They say the Great Seal. They own some kind of seal. Wait a minute. Yeah, y'all probably say like right there, dummy, right there. No, here you go. The keeper of the Great Seal. So, so this guy, Major Edward Dorsey, right? That's supposed to be a clown from what you know what I mean, from what you know what I mean, or how they wrote it, trying to make. So I don't fall for that. I don't fall for it. Usually when these people write up something and it's the dirtiest, shittiest, funkiest, those are usually the shiners, the people that's really out there shaking and baking, getting shit done. It's one thing I learned about reading academia when they try to uh, hide the real gods and goddesses. This is how they hide them by talking greasy about them, and this shit don't be true. So whoever this person was, he was a high court chancellor and the keeper of the Great Seal. So let's see if we can find this. Hold up, it's gonna be hard. Because I want to know about judge. Chancellor, keeper of the seal. Ain't this crazy? Ain't this crazy how I gotta do this? Yeah. So whatever this is, they don't want nobody know about this shit, man. They don't want nobody know about that shit. Only certain people. So see if I can get something. Okay. So the master of the rolls. The master of the rolls are initially clerk responsible for keeping the rolls, the records of the Court of Chancery, and was known as the keeper of the rolls of Chancery. Amen. Water. The keeper was the most senior of the dozen chancery clerks, and as such occasionally acted as keeper of the great seal of the realm. Keeper of the great seal of the realm. Keeper of the great seal of the realm. I don't spell that out. The great seal of the realm. What seal? I want to see what it look like. What is a Lord keeper of the seal? Okay. One of the Lord Chancellor's responsibilities is to act as a custodian of the great seal of the realm, kept historically in the Lord Chancellor's purse. Yeah, I want to see what does it look like. The Lord Chancellor, okay? Is anybody gonna show us the seal? Man, man, maybe I could just say the Great Seal. The Great Seal. Great Seal of the United States. The Great Seal. Is this the Great Seal? Seal depicts the national coat of arms of the United States. Oh, so yeah. If you know about what coat of arms are, okay, here we go. Hey, so now we know. Oh, so now we know. So, oh, what? I'm reading a book. Man. It's crazy. See, when the law working, man, you can't stop it, dog. You can't stop it. Can't stop it. Man, all I practice all day long is the law of attraction. And next thing I know, bam. You try that on bam, try this, bam. Yeah. So look, I'm reading this book right now. I don't know what that is. But look, oh, y'all didn't see it. Yep. It's the other one. See, so I'm reading a book that I got for free from a thrift store. The thrift store was giving out books. I took like 20 of them. So what is this? Man. Here we go. Here we go with the rabbit hole shit. I like this better though. So these Dorsey people, right? Let's stay focused. Now, don't forget, all this stuff is in white. How's it going on? All this stuff white. If you don't do this, you can't even read it. So I ain't read all of it, so say, among the many Maryland Dorseys who served as officers in the Revolutionary War were Captain Richard Dorsey, who was third lieutenant of Colonel William Richardson, Maryland Battalion of the Flying Camp in 1776, of the Flying Camp in Maryland. Man, it was all brothers. All of them. All of them. All of them. All of them. Alright, so Lieutenant of the Continental Dragons in 1777. Continental Dragons. Yeah, I got some pictures of some, you know, crazy boy. So much stuff you find out, man, just like blow your mind. Like, okay, hold up. Then it says Larkin Doors, Cornet, Fourth Continental Dragons. See, dragon means something different to me than what it means to other people. Dragons are very on their game, like spiritually, you know, mentally, physically. You know, dragons. From what I know something different about dragons. All right, so yeah, even in anywhere in Asia, anywhere in China, man, everybody knows what's up with the dragon. Everybody knows what's up with the dragon. So, but they try to social engineer us into not liking dragons. And dragons really used to protect us, right? So it says First Pennsylvania Battalion and yeah, Baltimore County Soldiers Delight Company. Yeah. All right, so let me go back, man. Let me go back. You know, the whole point of this whole thing is this. This shit here. This shit here, man. I'm going to read this again. It says, we are now in a sort of reverse opium war, except this time it is the United States, not China, that is the victim. So I already told y'all about the opium wars, right? So pretty much your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. This is what these niggas do to wear diamonds. Trust me, niggas don't wear diamonds from doing shows. If you think that, you are a blundering idiot. All they do is run around and destroy communities. That's all they do. But at the end of the day, they gotta look at themselves in the mirror and have respect for themselves for all the all the havoc they wreak just so you can look cute on camera. How many aunties and OD, how many 16-year-olds, OD, they thought they were playing with something. Crazy, man. Oh. All right, so says recall, right? That at the dawn of the 19th century, China was still the largest economy in the world. By the end on its last leg after being hooked up on opium by the British Empire. It was subsequently defeated in a series of wars with the European powers forced to open their ports. Oh, I was just talking to Nanny talking about the opium, the war, the two wars that I talked about probably 20 minutes ago, my bad. But ports of ports to foreigners. That all they wanted to do is open their ports. And China was like, hell no. We know what y'all do. We're not fucking with y'all. No. So they started again flooding opium to the local slick dope boys. And as a result of that, damn near 85% of China was hooked on opium. Everybody, the soldiers, everybody was weak. Then one day they came in, boy, on boats and just started whipping ass, taking shit, bit. I read all that. Yeah, so then China got themselves together and the United States did it again. Did it again, man. Did it again. So now we got fentanyl, some shit that they made and they unleashed it on us. And we are reciprocating. We are reciprocating. What do you do when you reciprocate? You know anything about math? Reciprocate. Yeah, man. So that's what's going on right now. You know, some nasty stuff because that shit kill people, man. That shit kill people. And now they got some new shit called xylazine that they're putting inside of it. I can go on and talk about it. I broke all the shit down just now, so if y'all want me to read the shit word. Pretty much, we had two wars with China back in the 1800s. Two wars, right? All right. Only because we wanted them to open their ports. They didn't want to open their ports. They didn't want to deal with us. Well, yeah, with the new thing, right? They didn't want to deal with them. So what they did was they started funneling opium underground and turning out 85% of the population. The soldiers were fucked up. They couldn't do shit. Everybody was weak. Nobody could do shit. Everybody was strung out. So we tiptoed in there one night and we took over all this shit. And then China started getting strong all over again. And then so they tried to shut them down. And then then the United States started flooding opium into them again, flooding opium to them again, and the same shit happened again. And opened the ports up again. So All this time they've been trying to get this shit together. So they got this shit together. They tight. They make everything we buy. Everything is made in China. First of all, our dumbasses haven't realized that yet. Um, Now they created this monster drug called fentanyl, and that shit is wiping us the fuck out. This shit make me read this. Yeah, it was opium wars that truly prepared what is now known as century of humiliation in China. Not only would the final imperial dynasty soon fall, but also a gravely weakened China would spend the first half of the 20th century consumed by civil war. Then to add, the insult to even greater injury, China would find itself occupied by their assertive Asian neighbors, Japan. This vast humiliation only began to end when the Chinese were evicted from China at the end of the war, at the end of World War II, by Mao's communists like Chinese emperors of yesteryear reunited China. Okay, blah 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 blah. So now go back here for a minute. So let's do this. I just go. I just go in America in only in our communities because the soprano dudes, they like, man, you better not bring that shit in my neighborhood. And Jews like, I better not nut. Man, listen. We got a street called Northern Parkway, right? I know a whole bunch of Jews live over there to be jamming across the street, but they got this one little area that you're not supposed to go across. That's their little area, whatever. But yeah, man, it's funny. It's funny. A lot of times it should be coming from them. Wait a minute. Opium wars in America in black. Let's see. Keep it simple. Because I'm getting tired. Um, the Hermit or maybe 1920. Here we go. Being opium wars. I want to talk about now. Trump claims China was drugged out on opium. He ain't Taliban. See, second family. 1 second family. Uh, when I started digging a little too deep, they started trying to shut me down. They started trying to shut me down. Cause I'm Mr. Big Mouth. Alright, so boom, it's a good spot. Alright, here we go. So I'm looking for cool. So you know what? Let's see some images. Let's see some more images. We're gonna look into wow. America is being plundered with some shit that they made. Fentanyl shit you make. Look at this shit. Opium War Review. Look at this shit. All you gotta do is cut down the side. Zit. And the black liquid that come out. Take a can and scrape the side of it. That's it. That's it. You can go to another one the next day. Another. That stuff take a minute to sap out the correct way. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They ain't anybody going up. You'll read newspaper when you're back. Boy, look, sit right there and use your back to read newspaper when up. Why he going there? Look. Everybody gone. Look, nigga, you ain't reading no paper, no, boy. No, you ain't reading no paper, no. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Ingrid traffickers, manufacturers, fentanyl often purchase the key agreement. I'm sorry. The key ingredient from China, which doesn't regulate its highly profitable street drug. Oh man. Why are they trying? They trying to show people this. They put that cop up there again. Y'all know we know what that is. Us. They know what's going on. They had us in the Twilight Zone so long. Oh yeah, so these are the new man sentenced to 21 years in prison for drug sales that caused deaths. See, okay, now check this out too. These M box 30s right here. This is not nothing to be playing with, man. This is not nothing to be joking about. None of that, man. This shit right here is killing people. You know why? Because all the ones on the streets now, they all got fentanyl in them. They all got fentanyl in them. They only cost like $50 a piece. One of them $50. 1 month, man, everything gone. Battery going dead. So yeah, man, opium wars, man. So understand, this what's going on right now, bro. And like, I think, man, brothers need to tighten up. My battery going dead, so I gotta shut my mouth for a little while. Say some more. Look, dangerous fentanyl, heroin becoming greater risk of fatal. Look at this. Man, I'm gonna do a whole. I'm doing a couple of it. Oh, then they got. Oh, how this get in here? And why is this with this? The Amerimore. So we already know that's us right here. That's us right here. We already know. You see the dreadlocks. I mean, you know it's all right. All right, yeah, all right. Then they give you instructions on. Well, they teach you how to make it and everything, man. Man, look. I'm gonna do a bunch of videos on this shit, on this fentanyl and the opium and this shit, and how everything is going on. The way the reason why it's going. Michael Jackson OD, Prince died off of fentanyl. Yo, I'm telling y'all now, man, stay away from that shit. Stay away from that shit, dog. Stay away from that. That shit is low frequency shit, dog. Anything the color of white, stay away from it, dog. Simple as that, man. Simple as that. Mm-mm-mm. So yeah, man. I just be going. Sometimes I start thinking because I lost so many friends that are behind this bullshit, man. And we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it because I feel like, see, they didn't put this. Why is this picture on here? Why is it? Because we about to find out. I'm ready to do some real heavy research on. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Fentanyl overdose. Hold up. Morning. Or fentanyl morphine acting the same receptors in the brain. And they got some new shit they add to it too called xylazine. Y'all ain't heard that shit, man. Wake the fuck up. Xylazine. Xylazine. Supposed to be help this shit last longer. Yeah. So all I gotta say is, man, look, stay close to your babies, man. Stay close to your family. You be strong. You feel me? Everybody be strong, man. If y'all could like this video, share it, subscribe it. See, we already know our top, our my type of content. It ain't gonna go everywhere because nobody wants to talk about the real, what's really going on, like the real problems. We always get, nobody likes and subscribe. Nobody sent nobody because you get shadow banned. But it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. God working mysterious ways. So I'm gonna say peace to y'all, right? And be ready for this. Might be like part 3 because after I went to that shit, killing up everything. So here we go again. Opium wars and tea. Say opium war. Wait a minute. Better not say it. But why was that in there? See, look, what y'all know about these. See, you ain't know the Maya is you. Moors, there's ancient Moors, black Moors in America. Man, y'all fools, man, if y'all don't know this stuff. So, yeah, man, I'm out, man. Peace. Pass the more.